Hi, my name is Claude. I'm the CEO co-founder of Ferris. This video is just a summary of one of the conversations that I think I've had probably 20 times over the last 2 weeks. And it is this. As a professional services firm, we've turned on Gemini, Copilot, Claude, etc. And we've seen 2 members of our team start to do amazing things, and they've demoed really cool capabilities. But we have yet to see anything show up in terms of additional revenue, better margin, or substantive quality improvements across our organization because of these tools. And so we've added significant spend in the realm of hundreds per head, but we have yet to see it show up in a way that affects our revenue or our business directly. The bottleneck to value is the lack of a context layer for your business that allows AI to be used in a way that doesn't just help replace specific tasks, but actually lets you rebuild entire workflows, like going from pre-sales to delivery. So let me walk you through a specific example of why we think this is the case. Let's take drafting a statement of work. Today, this takes maybe 10 hours for your solutions engineers and your SAs and your business analysts collaborating and putting together a document. Now, let's say they have access to AI. So someone is spending time in Gemini or Notebook LM, and they are pulling transcripts from a different tool, downloading them, uploading them to their chat, and they're saying, draft me an SOW. They get a draft back. It's not in the right format. They reformat it in a way that is closer to what they're looking for. And along the way, they recognize there are small discrepancies in dates and times and revenue metrics, etc. So it took effort and time, but it's much faster. The problem is drafting this SOW is one part of a multi-week or even multi-month process of pre-sales or post-sales. And so the impact to your business is quality of life's gotten slightly better for your teams, but now you've optimized for a small percent of a much longer process. And so it's not going to substantively change your business. What we've seen from the customers that we've been working with and the most AI native companies in the world is they are thinking about how do you not help optimize specific tasks, but optimize entire workflows. And that's where you start to see a material gain in both the quality of the work and the experience of work, but also what they're able to do in terms of generating revenue and increasing margin. Instead of having to recontextualize every chat with all the necessary materials and tell it what good looks like and do that heavy lifting every task, you have a single context layer, and this is what Ferris has built, where a note taker is shown up in every meeting and pulls transcriptions directly into a secure environment where documents are shared straight from Drive or SharePoint over the course of pre-sales. So now you have a single source of context that traces how decisions change over time. You have a lineage of what is actually agreed upon now versus what was version 1 3 months ago in initial conversations. So what you're able to do is generate a first draft of an SOW that requires lightweight review in the format that you want it because it has access to past projects and is able to see kind of what good looks like. But then you're also able to generate things like a knowledge transfer document for your solutions architect alongside an initial architecture because it's grounded in the context of your tools and the technologies you work with. You're able to provide a chat interface where delivery teams can interface with all of the transcripts from sales meetings over the last 6-7 months, ask questions and get up to speed so they're not spending time in a multi-hour meeting with your sales teams trying to interrogate them for what clients actually agree to. And now you're able to have the delivery team avoid a 3-day onsite with a customer where before they had to recontextualize everything that the customer had just aligned on sales with for the SOW, and then the delivery team had to come on board and do the same thing. Now they're aligned, they have the information they need because there's a single source of truth context that they can operate from. And all of a sudden, because you have AI tooling drive the artifacts along that process, you've actually re-architected a workflow that makes a material difference in the timeline for your delivery and now starts to show up in a meaningful way for your business. The number of projects you can handle, timeline and speed of delivery, and the quality of work. I think a very simple analogy to ground all of this is thinking about hiring an exceptional employee. You've hired one of the smartest, most generally capable people, but they have no experience in your field. They are almost useless if not given the right context about how you do work, what good looks like, and all of the information necessary to create the materials that are part of the work, SOW, solutions architecture maps, etc. Ferris is building the context layer for your professional services business, and we've seen teams cut delivery times by 40 to 60%. We've started to see some of the meaningful ROI that is possible when you start building in a more AI native way. And I think the opportunity is a quality of work experience for your teams that is better, a standard of quality for your clients that is dramatically improved, and ultimately a business that actually has the impact of AI showing up in a meaningful way. And that's what we're building with Ferris. So hopefully this is helpful with us or otherwise. The context layer is the key to making these solutions show up in a meaningful way for your business. Cheers.